special treat for my viewers today. It's process, and I'm still trying to finalize a few things, but what I have in store for you guys today, by all means, really elevates the Stamina Nightblade. And I'm telling you that what's amazing to me is nobody else seemed to pick this up. Like, nobody. Like, I went on YouTube making sure like I had something completely original, because a lot of people are running similar sets and they're double stacking. And we when we did vet DSA a couple days ago, I told people I don't know why we're really doing this. Like, nobody's really wanting to do it because everybody's double stacking their sets and with monster sets on a dual wield or sword and board. So I kind of find it irrelevant at this point. So all of a sudden, I was going through my build options and I came across a retarded combination that is just crazy. I called this build the Proc dot and drop. So it's pretty ghetto because it's kind of like the pop lock and drop, but this is the Proc dot and drop. Okay, first thing, what we're going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and get into the character sheet. Okay, my food buff wore off. Let me go ahead and apply that. All right, guys, let me go on my dual bar. All right, so what we're looking at is max stamina 35,244, max health slightly under 20. I always like to keep there. Weapon crits at 54.6, and weapon damages at 3,004 without any buffs or builders. My attributes are 6 health and 58 stamina. And the Mundus we're running is the warrior. Now, what's crazy about this? And okay, on the back bar, I'll show you this. We went with the bow, so we're running dual wield bow. And 35 and 19.4. So dropped us a couple hundred on the health side, but no biggie. Weapon damage is 54, and my weapon crit on this 59.5. The reason being, I'm still looking for my sharpened bow of this. I have precise bow. So if you want to know why my crit's up so high, it's the reason being. Nobody's figured this out. You cannot find this set on Guild Traders on PS4 because nobody's put it together. Like, nobody. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you guys serious? So one of the big sets for Stamina Nightblade right now, as we are aware of, is the Viper set. The Viper set is a really good set because, it has a crit build, a max stamina, and it has a pretty serious proc with 7,599 poison damage that occurs every 4 seconds. Now, the funny thing is, I'm still up in the process of upgrading my gear, so I only got a few gold pieces because, and like I said, I've just switched this over and trying to finalize this build on this character. But what we're also running is Swamp Raiders set now, and as you can see with Velodraths. This is what's crazy about this build. Seriously, this is probably one of the most... It takes Viper and Velodrath to a completely... Honest with you guys, I can run this on both platforms. I can run this in PvE, and I can PvP with this just by switching out some in-pen pieces, and I'm good to go because this is so overpowered. Like, it's ridiculous. Really, it's crazy because what Swamp Raider is going to do for us, when you deal damage with a magica ability, your poison and disease damage abilities gain an extra 440 weapon damage for 10 seconds. Now, this is crazy for the Nightblade, and you could run this. I would suggest you can run this on Stam Nightblade or Stam DK. I wouldn't run this on Stam Sork or a Stamina Templar. They don't have enough class-based abilities to really justify running Swamp Raiders. But when you put a Stamina DK or a Stamina Nightblade with this set, drop them with Vipers and Velodrath, it's a friggin'... It's a joke is what it is. Nothing's going to stand in your way. Like, seriously. Now in dungeons, you don't see a lot of the top end damage because we're running a lot of dot effects. When it comes to disease you can think of as like a debuff. So it does a direct damage. and applies a debuff that affects anybody's who's been hit with disease, their healing capability. And I'll get into this with the champion system. But what's really awesome about this is, okay, so as you guys can see here, I'll just finish the gear first. We're running a heavy Veladrat's infused head. Of course, the Viper and the Swamp Raider is all medium, and to compensate to keep our Undaunted up, we're running the light Veladrat Epilots. Those are in Divine. Infused chest, Divine shoulders, Divine waist, glyphed with health, Divine hands, glyphed with health, infused legs, and Divine feet, also glyphed in health to make sure we're pushing around that 20k mark. Now, when it comes to our skills, this is what's crazy, and this is what we've decided to do. Now, this is my PvE version of this, not my PvP, but I will let you guys know, because a lot of people are going to go ahead and they're going to watch this video and they're going to make this build and they're going to take claim to it. Like, oh, I figured this out. Dude, I've looked all throughout YouTube. Nobody's running this fucking combination. It's completely passed them over their heads. They're just completely oblivious. But Lotus Fan, we've actually taken ambush out of the equation altogether. Lotus Fan is going to be our magical proc instead of ambush. That procs Swamp Raiders, giving us the 440 weapon damage towards our spell, or towards our poison and disease. That's pretty amazing, because all I have to do is close in the gap. Done. Procced. We're using surprise attack on this. Why? Because of the major fracture. It's going to reduce their physical resistance. Also, no biggie here, or no surprise. Power extraction. Why? Disease damage. Simple. Killer blade. Disease damage. Finisher. Camouflage hunter on both bars. And of course, incapacitating strike. Why? Once again, disease damage. When we look at the back bar, now keep in mind we have opted everything. Now I still need to get the ultimate for this, but it's going to be the bow ultimate, not the ballista. We're not wanting the automatic one. We want the poison one, because once this procs, we're going to push out more damage with that morph instead. But we went with Shadow Silk. Why? Poison. Venom Arrow. Interrupt. Poison. Acid Spray. Poison. And Lethal Arrow. Poison. And once again, Camouflage Hunter. We've unlocked all the passives towards our abilities. We have our Undaunted. Now, once again, I'm still finalizing this build, so I still need the last ability in Twin Blade and Blunt. If you want to substitute any of the abilities for self-sustained, you can do that, but keep in mind, if it's not a poison or a disease-related ability, you will be losing DPS. On the bow, once again, we just got to get another point in hasty retreat, and we got to get rapid fire and get that morph. That's very important for this build. Now, the one thing that like I said, I am missing. Now, instead of going swords, we went with the axes. Why? The bleed. Even if they get away, they're going to get the bleed effect. So they're going to be dot, debuffed, and bled. So they better have a healer backing their asses up in PvP, or they're going to die anyways, even if they survive the initial hit, which is unlikely. Now, I know I told people I don't give out my PvP builds, but you all, pretty much a lot of you are just going to figure it out. If you're going to run this in PvP, you're going to go ahead on this front bar, and you're going to keep Lotus Fan, but you're going to go ahead and use your Shadowy Disguise, and pretty much that's it. You're going to Shadow, Lotus Fan, and hit them with the Killer Blade. I'm telling you guys, this is retarded. This build is so OP. I was just like arrogant and egotistical, but no, guys, this is a very, very serious build. I don't know if I can actually get into a dungeon, but let me go over the champion points too real quick. Now, the champion systems is going to be a little interesting here, because we're not going to do a lot of weaves. We want our dots to kind of do that for us. The only time we're really going to be weaving up is to recap if we don't have shards available. So we have 6 points, which is 3.5 into melee, and 13 into the bow, which gives us 6%. We opted not to put in a precise strike. We are proccing Hawkeye, but we're not focused on, like I said, weaving so much. Thaumaturge is going to be a necessity for this build because we are throwing a shitload of dots. And I mean, I'm talking a shitload, people. So 12.5. But you don't want to go ahead and take too much away from Mighty into Thaumaturge because this affects your initial damage. Not your static damage, but the initial hit. So we went 23%, don't go 25 because of diminishing returns. And we allocated the rest into the offensive into piercing. Now, when we go ahead and take a look over here to our defensive or the warrior tree, we put 15 to ironclad, 6.5. That reduces our stuns and our disoriented effects. Also hardy, 53. Now, I did put 100 into elemental defender. Why? Because I'm a vampire. Vampire is going to go ahead and give me a boost to stamina and magical recovery because I need that magical recovery to proc swamp raiders, which used to be the toxic set. Okay. Quick recovery, 5.9, just for any heals I might be getting in dungeons. Also, we have 2 in the Magician. We just want to reduce a little bit of the Magicka cost, but we definitely put 10 into Warlord to reduce stamina cost. Tenacity, 5.5. Once again, we don't weave a lot, but when we do, we want to recap our stamina. We put 1 into the Arcanist, just once again for magical recovery. And stamina is 19.5. I am a Bosner, so I have a pretty good regen from initial passives. Health, since I am a vampire, I went 10%. This is a huge one right here, is Befoul. You're going to apply disease damage. Disease doesn't have a dot effect, but what it does is it actually basically is debuffing your target. So it reduces the amount of healing they're going to receive. So for all you PvPers out there, and especially Nightblades who deal disease damage, if you're not using Befoul, you're really not, taking advantage of the type of damage you're dealing. So keep note that Befoul for a Nightblade, especially if you're dealing disease or you're using disease poisons or procs, that definitely comes in handy. Tumbling, we put 3, just 2%. Okay, so that's pretty much in a nutshell how we've actually decided to set up the champion points, and it works out great. I mean, I am totally in love with this build. I cannot believe it. Like I said, this build is a blast. So I'm actually going to go ahead and queue a random. I'm a DPS. We all know how the DPS queues can be. It sucks. I mean, really bad. But we'll just go normal. I just kind of want to speed through some stuff. And while we're waiting, I don't know if anybody's looking for one, but oh well. Just go and kill a bunch of stuff. Kind of give you guys an idea of how the proc works and how everything is working. I personally I cannot believe that this is even plausible, to be honest with you. It's it's ridiculous. Now, I usually like my 5-5 switches, and if you wanted to go with a 5-5 with this, with the Viper and Swamp Raider, you can, but you want to be using Veladrath. But you could maintain the agility set. That would actually give you a little bit more oomph without the cooldown, because Veladrath's got like what I believe a 9-second cooldown, which kind of sucks. But for PvP, it definitely comes in handy. So if you want a little bit more bang for your buck without suffering this cooldown, I would actually tell you go 5-5 with it with the agility set. It would actually be a very beneficial. Getting the weapons is a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a pain in the ass to get the weapons. I think I can pick up like 3 different sets of anything versus actually getting a weapon to drop in this game. It's ridiculous. 3 full sets and I still can't get a weapon. What the hell? You guys, you might want to fix that shit. Why is everything always dead when I'm coming around? Ugh. And of course I'm a DPS. We probably know I'm not going to get a Q. Okay. Now when you see this, okay, the arms glowing green, that's the proc. Alright. It goes by pretty quick, but the proc effect... Now, let me go ahead and show you guys something here. Okay, so we're going to go down to the Viper effect. Okay, initial effect is 7,599 without any crit, but I'm going to proc this and I'll show you the increased amount. Okay. Nah, didn't do it. Oh, I can do skill. That's what I'll do. Okay. So, for example, power extract is initially dealing 5,608, right? So we'll go ahead and get a proc. Okay. Now we're doing 6,092. Okay. So, like I said, it's there. The proc effect is really there. And to tell you the truth, I was just like, oh my god. $30,000. Now, I'll probably get about between 32 and 34 with all of the upgrades I'm anticipating. Okay. And there's the proc from Veladreth. Which Lotus Fan, when you actually hit with the Lotus Fan on the jump, it can proc, as you know, you guys are aware, if you use ambush, it can proc Veladreth. Once you hit with the Lotus Fan and it procs, boom, right there. It's like death waiting to happen. Like if you're a Nightblade and you don't want to use Shadowy Disguise, I hate to say it, you no longer need to. You no longer need to be sneaky. You can just be like total assault. Like, I'm coming for you. You're fucked. You're like, it's just ridiculous. And nobody's running this shit. Like, they haven't figured it out. Like, I'm like, what the hell are you people doing? So, because I actually have a few pieces. Now, I actually have the two-handed sword, but unfortunately, the two-handed swords don't actually... I cannot hear you. Actually, I had to turn off the commentary. It used to be the Toxic set. So that's originally where it was. I believe it was Imperial Prison, but now it's in Shadowfen. So if you're a Nightblade, especially Stamina, and you're not rocking this, you might want to take notes and reconsider the Toxic Defiance. You might want to reconsider your options, because this is a retarded combo. You can mix this up with anything with Viper, but the the Swamp Raider set is by far probably one of my favorites to rock with. There's 20 base, so it definitely it takes the cake. And in PvP, oh my god, we're talking like nobody is even going to be standing once you actually make the jump. Once again, I cannot hear you because I had to turn off commentary. I'm sorry. 31. Okay. So, yeah, guys, this is pretty serious build here. And you guys didn't hear it from anywhere. I mean, you can go to Cypher, he doesn't have it. You can go to Delta, he doesn't have it. You can go pretty much anywhere, and all the big boys, they ain't got it. So, this is an ESO exclusive, and I am completely in love with this build. It's retarded. It's just not even right. It's completely OP. If they nerf it, I won't be surprised, but 33 on a troll. And that's not bad. Now, like I said, now when we're taking a look at the back bar, now if you guys are ever going to question, you know, if the proc lasts between the switch, of course it does. That's one thing that why a lot of people aren't actually doing like maelstroms and stuff. Now, as you guys can see, now, if you didn't want to go with the venomous venom arrow, you can go with poison injector. I like the venom arrow, especially if I'm going to do PvP. And yes, I am going to say this: if I'm PvPing, I'd rather have the arrow so I can interrupt, especially Templars with their Jesus beam. Just hit them; it's over with. You know, their channeling's gone. So. Now I can go ahead. Okay. So yeah, pretty much, guys, this is it. This is the build. I'm happy with it. Once I get my hands on that sharpened bow, it's over with. Like, I have the precise right now, but yeah, I got double stack on this, and I got double stack on the Vipers. So I got the axes for the bleed proc. It's pretty nasty. This is a killer build. Once again, I can't hear you. I have to post actually after the video is done. I'm so sorry about the commentary. I had somebody, you know, just saying racist comments. But yeah, guys, there it is. There it is. It is the proc dot and drop build. It's pretty gnarly. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It is pretty impressive. I'm very happy with this build, and yeah, if you guys watch me and you're a Nightblade, if you're a Stamina Nightblade and you didn't put this together, I don't know what you were thinking. Yeah, I probably listened to other people. Oh, you know, go with this set, go with that set. Okay, that's fine. But I really like this. Everything complements. It runs very smooth. It's very efficient. So, yeah. Pretty much in a nutshell. If you have any questions or comments, post below. If you are on the PS4, please visit our community site. That's ESO Daily. Once again, we are a small community site, but any conversations are good, bad, ugly, whatever. But if you have any questions, like I said, just post below. I would love to hear any feedback if you decide to actually roll with this build as a Stamina Nightblade. If you're anti-proc, I definitely get it. And but if you're running Viper set, it would actually, like I said, this set, the Swamp Raiders, pairs well with Viper. So it will, increase the proc's damage effect. So once again, man, now if you're PvPing, you can actually run poisons on your weapons if you decide to. That just makes it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, guys, like I said, very, very impressed with this build. I do want to thank everybody for watching. I didn't get my cue. I'm so sorry about that. But once again and always, thank you and have a nice day.